Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Monday that he was ready to extend the New START arms control treaty with the U.S. by 1 year, an agreement that limits how many nuclear weapons each side can have.
After February 5, 2026, Russia is prepared to continue adhering to the central quantitative limits of the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty for 1 year. Going forward, based on an analysis of the situation, we will make a decision if we continue adhering to these voluntary self-limitations. We believe this measure will only be viable if the United States acts in a similar manner.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Monday that President Donald Trump would respond publicly to Putin's proposal at a later time.
The president is aware of this offer extended by President Putin, and I'll let him comment on it later. I think it sounds pretty good, but he wants to make some comments on that himself, and I will let him do that.
The agreement is the last U.S.-Russia Strategic Nuclear Arms Control Accord. It allowed for only one 5-year extension, which Putin and former President Joe Biden agreed to implement in 2021. The offer comes as Ukraine tries to convince Trump to impose harsher sanctions on Russia, something that Putin made public at a meeting of the Security Council. Russia and the United States have by far the biggest nuclear arsenals in the world, and many experts fear that ending the limits could fuel an arms race, as both sides boost strategic weapons deployments.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch, pinch.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
All three major U.S. stock indexes registered record closing highs for a third straight session on Monday, with the Dow gaining more than 0.1%, the S&P 500 adding over 0.4%, and the Nasdaq climbing 0.7%. After last week's quarter percentage point rate cut by the Federal Reserve, some central bank officials on Monday expressed doubt over the need for further cuts. Potential inflationary pressures from President Trump's tariffs are just one reason investors should remain cautious in this bull market, said Dean Smith, chief strategist and portfolio manager at Folio Beyond.
The fact that the entire environment can change really quickly on the basis of, a couple of tweets coming from the president or someone in his administration means that I think investors should be playing things pretty close to the vest right now. Stay cautious. Don't take a lot of interest rate risk. Again, if inflation continues to rise, as I think it may, interest rates on the long-term side of things are going to continue to rise. Anytime you can diversify, reduce your risk posture, I think that's a good position to be in over the next quarter or two, at least.
Shares of Tylenol maker Kenvue were down about 7.5% at the close, ahead of remarks by Trump that Tylenol contributes to the development of autism during pregnancy, a claim many doctors dispute. But the stock gained roughly 6% in extended trading during Trump's speech. Other movers included Nvidia, which rose roughly 4% after the chip maker said it will invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. And shares of Apple jumped more than 4% after Wedbush raised the stock's target price on strong demand signs for the iPhone 17.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania on this Tuesday. Cloudy, stray shower, thunderstorm possible. Highs today in the mid-70s. Partly cloudy skies this evening, becoming foggy and damp after midnight and a low of 60. Wednesday, some afternoon rain with temperatures in the low 70s. Thursday, rain showers, low 70s. Friday, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine with temperatures in the low 70s. Saturday, partly cloudy, temperatures in the upper 70s. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:12. This is the morning drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Trickle, trickle, splash, splash. Tell me, how long will this rain last? Waking up with Luke and Amy on the morning drill.
Happy Tuesday. It's a little wet, damp out there this morning, but finally getting some rain. Much needed rain. You could hear the grass like crying out in happiness, joy last night. I mentioned stepping on it Sunday, walking around some fields, and it was just like crunch, crunch. But yeah, hey.
All good now?
Well, not quite. You need more.
Okay.
You need a lot more. But yeah, here we are. It's Tuesday morning. It looks like rain will continue a little bit today and tomorrow and through the week. So keep an eye out on that. We were out last night, soccer game. In fact, weather delay.
It's like an hour weather delay, right?
Yeah, an hour?
Like that?
Longer? Yeah. I don't know.
It's fun.
It was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We ran out of things to talk about during the broadcast, but other than that, it was
you could have should have been in the stands with us. We didn't run out of things to talk about at all.
Well, okay. Next time
you can come sit with us.
Saw some great lightning.
Yeah.
Dark clouds rolling through.
It was funny because it was like 2 minutes before like the first half was over. They're in the middle of play. And it just hit suddenly that you could barely make out the kids on the field. It was so dark from our angle. It was like, whoa, that was weird. So we all got up and ran for the stands that have shelter. And they got the kids off the field. And they did get to play out the last 2 minutes. But, yeah. We held out under the stands, and it was good.
Okay. Well, it was still a warm night, and actually after the storms kind of rolled through, I think it rained a little bit afterwards, but it cooled down.
It felt good.
Yeah, it did, but it wasn't like a cool down where you gotta grab your sweatshirt.
Yeah,
it was still a very comfortable, warm night.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
good game.
Very good game. Yeah, it's always fun when it's competitive, and you had two teams that, and so last night we were at the Titusville-Eisenhower soccer game. Mm-hmm. There are two teams that it doesn't matter what the records are, they always play each other tough.
Yeah.
And it's always competitive. And what was the score last night? 5-1?
It was 6-1.
6-1. But it
was like our son said, it was a tough game. Like they did it didn't come easy. So
yeah, it didn't feel like it was a 6-1 game.
No.
So good on Eisenhower for keeping their kids in it, and it's great. The Eisenhower coach is from England, so our play-by-play announcer is from England, and they root for two different soccer teams, so there's always a great conversation there. Yeah, I think the Eisenhower coach is a Liverpool fan, and Gary's a Manchester United fans, so they're always, it's really funny. So every year they pick up on their conversations, so it's always fun to cover them. But
Yeah, it was nice being out last night on a Monday. This is interesting. A Catholic nun in Ohio celebrated her 105th birthday by hitting the links for a round of golf with the sisters from her convent. Yeah. Sister Renee Parman and her cohorts visited the Knoll Run Golf Course in Lowellville on Friday, 2 days before her 105th birthday.
That's insane.
Yeah, to engage in one of her favorite activities, golf. She probably didn't hurt her ankle, though.
No, we were talking about that last night. Our son got kicked on the field, and he limped a little bit. And I said, I can't take 2 gimpies in my house at one time. So somebody's like, how did that happen? And the rest of the parents started laughing because they knew. I explained it. They're like, oh, age.
No,
I'm just kidding.
It's nothing to do with age. It was.
Your mom was
stupid.
there too, like chuckling because she was there present.
Yeah.
But she was sitting there during the game. So I'm like, yeah, the best part is his dad's like, oh, play off of the lady sees. you're like, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Yeah. Had I done that, I wouldn't be.
And we all
pain.
like, I mean, the move you made, we all kind of like, ah. And then we all realized, oh, wait, no, he's coming down.
Yeah.
It's great.
So anyhow.
Sorry.
No. She said it's a very beautiful place to golf, grass, flowers, and it's quiet. She began working to become a nun at the age of 18.
Holy cow.
But it wasn't until her 40s that some of her fellow sisters introduced her to golf. They said, hit the ball. That was my only instruction that I ever received. The nun now plays golf every week and has been instructing her younger colleagues on how to play the game. When we rode together, she was educating me on what should be doing and let me know how to hit the ball, Sister Barbara Noble said. It was pretty special because she had the experience. Sister Parman said not even being legally blind keeps her from enjoying the game. So at the age of about 105 now, she's still out there playing the sport. So I was in the mood yesterday. Like I was really, actually the last couple days. And you've been saying to me for a month, about a month, you're like, we're not going to have, by the time you start feeling better to go out and play, we're not going to have any time. I'm like, no, that's crazy. We're going to have a lot of time. Well, not a lot of time, but we're going to have some time to figure it out. Just haven't been able to do it yet.
Sorry.
Amy's got birthdays and what we're celebrating coming up in just a little bit. Looking forward to that. Did you actually celebrate anything yesterday?
No, we talked about it. It was Hobbit Day. We were talking about that. Like, we were talking about what?
You were like Women at Work Day or something. You were.
Well, yeah, no. Somebody said, I don't know. Somebody made a joke while we were waiting in the rain about the Shire, and I'm like, oh, today's Hobbit Day. La 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 la.
People must think you're so strange.
No.
Like, how do you know this?
And then they said something, and I said, well, yesterday was Wife Appreciation Day, and they're like, they all looked at me weird. And another mom said, well, no, that's what she does every morning on the show. So she knew.
Okay.
Come on. I have one job. One.
I know. And when that's not executed properly, it's like, come on. Come on.
You're fired, Amy.
Go
make coffee.
What did I send you the other day? And it's really awesome, especially this time of year. Is it Pigeon Forge has one of those, those roller coasters through the hills?
Yeah.
But this time of year, they decorate for Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. I've seen that now come up a couple times, and I'm not sure if it's the same one, but it's pretty cool. I know a lot of people up this way. That's like the vacation spot now. You know, it's not the beach. It's not, Florida. It's not, Myrtle Beach or wherever they go, Virginia, whatever they do. Mm-hmm. It's we're going to Tennessee. We're going to Pigeon Forge, hiking and all that. That seems to be what a lot of people here have been doing. So
yeah.
Looks absolutely. There's a lot to do. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Some of the pictures I've seen, from friends who have come back and said, oh, you really should go there. And we've got our youngest who loves music and would probably like to see some of Nashville. And now you've been there.
I have.
But we haven't. You were in a parade?
I was in a parade and the Liberty Bowl halftime show in Memphis.
That's cool. Yeah. And you got to meet Alabama?
I did.
Huh.
I did.
That's cool.
They sang Angels Among Us for the halftime show. And we were in it.
Any pictures of that?
Somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Well, that would be cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
You actually, you have a sweatshirt with, all their signatures.
I do. So we got to be, in the halftime show, all of the participants got the Liberty Bowl sweatshirt for that year. And I'm going to cough, sorry.
Now, was this what was the trip?
I was a state finalist for the homecoming, for Pennsylvania homecoming. So all of the state finalists got invited to go. There were 3 of us in the state of Pennsylvania. One was from Philadelphia. And I can't remember where the other one was. No, there were 2 of us. No, sorry, just Philadelphia and I. And it was funny because her parents came and mine did not. I went on my own. So, you had parents that were taking, adopting the other kids. It was a really cool experience. So, but then, as I said, I got the sweatshirt, and a few months after that, I think the next fall, Alabama was at the Crawford County Fair. So my mom bought tickets, said, you gotta go, you gotta take your sweatshirt. So I think we were in the 5th row on the racetrack, and I stood up and held up my sweatshirt, and they called me up, and they're like, Miss Pennsylvania.
Ah.
They remembered me. They're like, you're the one, so where's your mom that you, because you say the dumbest things, oh my gosh, I grew up listening to you. My mom's listened to you forever, on the radio, blah, 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 And they're like, where's your mom who brought you up right? So it's it was funny.
Okay.
They remembered it.
Well, nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some other quick headlines here. This is kind of cool. NASA released their new class photo of their astronauts. And what's really neat about this, according to this article, is there may be somebody pictured there that could be the first to set foot on Mars.
Really?
That according to NASA, yeah. The 24th astronaut class in NASA's history. And the first new one since 2021 was announced yesterday during a ceremony at NASA's Johnson Space Center. The newly unveiled astronaut candidates, 5 men, 5 women, were selected from a pool of more than 8,000 applicants. NASA's call for applications opened for about a month last year, which I didn't get a call. I did.
Sorry.
I've been applying ever since
you just want the one-way ticket,
ever
right?
since we've been married. I've been
the
applying
one-way ticket
for that. Yeah.
to Mars.
I don't have to come back. Sign me up.
You're gonna sacrifice me? That's fine.
It's good. Yeah, I know. Since the day after our wedding, honey, I've been applying for this program, but no luck. Anyhow, they said that somebody in that group could be the first to set foot on Mars, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, we're going to get to birthdays and what we're celebrating here on this 23rd day of September. I keep thinking July or not. I'm not mentally in September.
I'm not here yet.
It's just going too fast. So, all right, we're gonna start with birthdays here this morning, and who's celebrating today?
All right, singer Julio Iglesias is 82. Rocker Bruce Springsteen is 76. Actor Jason Alexander is 66.
George.
Mm-hmm. Actor Anthony Mackie is 47, and actor Skylar Austin is 38 today.
All right, happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to you. If today happens to be your birthday, from all of us here today, let's turn the page and find out what we're celebrating.
Education Technology Day, Elvis Festival Fourth Call, I have no idea what that means, Go With Your Gut Day, Energize Day, International Day of Sign Languages, National AFM Day, National Apple Cider Vinegar Day, National Baker Day, National Checkers Day, National Dogs and Politics Day, National Field Marketers Day, National Great American Pot Pie Day, National Snack Stick Day, National Voter Registration Day, Restless Legs Awareness Day, Seed Gathering Season, Teal Talk Day, Zatar Day, National Glucose Awareness Week, Ontario Garlic Week, Seed Gathering Season, and that is all.
So this was years ago. I was having like I don't know what it was, like a stomach thing, and your mom, I think, said, "Hey, drink that apple cider vinegar." I don't know what it was, some sort of a concoction.
It was like some mixture she had.
It was like water, or no, ice.
I don't even remember what it was.
Apple cider vinegar. Ginger?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We should have written
I
it
think
down.
it was. I know because.
Well, it was horrible at first, and then it was kind of. I don't want to say good.
You just got used to it.
Yeah, but it I don't know. It just kind of did something.
It worked a little.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Your mom drinks it all the time, or did. We'll have to write that down, because once in a while I think about that. But today is Apple Cider Vinegar Day.
It is.
Okay.
The thing that, like, it's weird because it's like a cure-all for everything. You know, every time I'm like, oh, this is wrong. Oh, apple cider vinegar. Got to clean this. Apple cider vinegar. Cleans your insides and your countertops. Sorry.
Okay. Well.
All right, that's it.
I was going to bring this up, but we're running into news time, so I'm not going to have time to do that. Later this morning, we're going to have Joe Tech join us. I think he's around. Joe,
think he's around?
I am so excited. I was excited last week because last week, was it last week? No, the week before. So it's been a couple weeks since Apple made their announcement.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to get Joe's take on all that. Now, in the meantime, over the weekend, we actually ran into a store and saw the new Apple products, the watches and the phones, and so.
And as pretty as the Air is, I would snap that.
I think I saw somebody online actually bend it. I don't know. They did something that broke.
I would be gifted enough to snap that in half.
Yes, that is correct. In a heartbeat. All right, we're coming up on 7:30 here this morning. We'll bring you the latest headlines, let you know what's going on Wall Street, and we have some other business headlines to bring you. Also, what's going on in sports. Hey, a really good game last night. We watched a little bit of it. We'll let you know who won Monday Night Football between the Lions and the Ravens. That's all coming up. This is the Morning Drill.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Monday that he was ready to extend the New START arms control treaty with the U.S. by 1 year, an agreement that limits how many nuclear weapons each side can have.
After February 5th, 2026, Russia is prepared to continue adhering to the central quantitative limits of the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty for 1 year.
На основе анализа обстановки.
Going forward, based on an analysis of the situation, we will make a decision if we continue adhering to these voluntary self-limitations. We believe this measure will only be viable if the United States acts in a similar manner.
США будут действовать аналогичным образом.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Monday that President Donald Trump would respond publicly to Putin's proposal at a later time.
The president is aware of this offer extended by President Putin, and I'll let him comment on it later. I think it sounds pretty good, but he wants to make some comments on that himself, and I will let him do that.
The agreement is the last U.S.-Russia Strategic Nuclear Arms Control Accord. It allowed for only one 5-year extension, which Putin and former President Joe Biden agreed to implement in 2021. The offer comes as Ukraine tries to convince Trump to impose harsher sanctions on Russia, something that Putin made public at a meeting of the Security Council. Russia and the United States have by far the biggest nuclear arsenals in the world, and many experts fear that ending the limits could fuel an arms race, as both sides boost strategic weapons deployments.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Discover unforgettable savings of over $8,000 off your next Chevy truck at Community Chevrolet's September to Remember sales event.
It's like the saying goes, a golden retriever never forgets.
I'm not sure you have that right, Clark. You might want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. What's truly memorable is Community's savings this month of more than $8,000 off a 2025 Silverado and nearly $5,000 off top SUVs like the Tahoe. So don't forget about the September to Remember sales event this month only at Community Chevrolet.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I needed a place I could feel cared for without the long drive. I chose Meadville OBGYN because both my sisters came here, highly recommended Dr. Kristen. Dr. Kristen makes me feel very comfortable, like I'm family, like we're friends, very personable. My daughter Evie was born in Breach, and it was Dr. Kristen and Dr. Barco, and they were incredible. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
I'm Ben Leach, Republican nominee for Magisterial District Judge, reminding you to get out and vote Tuesday, November 4th. As the only candidate with over 13 years of real courtroom experience and a dedicated career in the justice system, I've consistently demonstrated the ability to remain fair and impartial. As I continue my lifelong dedication to serving our community, I strive to be the kind of leader our citizens deserve. On November 4th, vote with confidence for a candidate who is qualified day one, bringing the experience needed to serve as your next magisterial district judge.
Taking Tylenol is not good.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday there was a link between the use of Tylenol and the development of autism during pregnancy, a claim which many doctors dispute. He did not present evidence for the claim.
First, effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of let's see how we say that, acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol during pregnancy, can be associated with a very increased risk of autism.
Researchers say there is no firm evidence of a link between the use of Tylenol and autism. Trump also suggested leucovorin, a form of folic acid, as a treatment for autism symptoms. Scientists say leucovorin, used to treat some cancer patients on chemotherapy, has shown some promise in very small trials, but that large, randomized trials are still needed. Kenvue, the makers of Tylenol, disagreed with the suggestion of a link on Monday and said it was not based in science.
All three major U.S. stock indexes registered record closing highs for a third straight session on Monday, with the Dow gaining more than 0.1%, the S&P 500 adding over 0.4%, and the Nasdaq climbing 0.7%. After last week's quarter percentage point rate cut by the Federal Reserve, some central bank officials on Monday expressed doubt over the need for further cuts. Potential inflationary pressures from President Trump's tariffs are just one reason investors should remain cautious in this bull market, said Dean Smith, chief strategist and portfolio manager at Folio Beyond.
The fact that the entire environment can change really quickly on the basis of, a couple of tweets coming from the president or someone in his administration means that I think investors should be playing things pretty close to the vest right now. stay cautious. Don't take a lot of interest rate risk. Again, if inflation continues to rise, as I think it may, interest rates on the long-term side of things are going to continue to rise. Anytime you can diversify, reduce your risk posture, I think that's a good position to be in over the next quarter or two, at least.
Shares of Tylenol maker Kenvue were down about 7.5% at the close, ahead of remarks by Trump that Tylenol contributes to the development of autism during pregnancy, a claim many doctors dispute. But the stock gained roughly 6% in extended trading during Trump's speech. Other movers included Nvidia, which rose roughly 4% after the chip maker said it will invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. And shares of Apple jumped more than 4% after Wedbush raised the stock's target price on strong demand signs for the iPhone 17.
The Fed's move last week to start a rate cutting cycle and to indicate that there's going to be more on the way, maybe than some folks had even been factoring in. Clearly, there's some element of political pressure here. We have now Marin on the board, and he came out today and said that he would like to see another 125 basis point cuts this year in the remaining two meetings. I don't think that's going to happen, but it gives you a sense of where the administration really thinks rates should be. So I would say the Fed blinked. 4.3% is full employment. I don't care sort of, who you're talking to. Any real economist looking at this fairly would say 4.3 is full employment. So the dual mandate that the Fed holds themselves to, full employment and stable prices, right now the risks are to stable prices. Powell's been in the seat for a long time. This is his second term. Anybody would be feeling the pressure. And if you can look to the labor market as an excuse or a fig leaf to try to take some pressure off, I don't think anyone would blame him for doing that. The problem is if you give a bully your lunch money, he doesn't go away. He comes back again tomorrow for more. And unfortunately, I think that is the path that the Fed is now on. The inflationary risks in the economy today are really hiding in plain sight. If you think back to 2021, we went from 0 to almost 10% in under a year. Inflation can accelerate very, very quickly. The one X factor that a lot of people point to are the tariffs. Now, so far, we've had a lot of companies announce that they're absorbing the tariff increases and not passing them on to down the supply chain or on the way to final consumers at the cash register. So we haven't seen a lot of that impact. But I would argue that companies have been absorbing that on the hope, perhaps belief, but mostly hope that these tariffs would be temporary. But if you listen to what the administration is saying, in particular Commerce Secretary Lutnick, but also the president himself and Treasury Secretary Bessent, they think they've got a lot of authority to keep these tariffs in place, no matter what the Supreme Court or any other court does. There's lots of different legal bases for these tariffs that they think helps them keep them in place. Once businesses start to realize these tariffs are here for the long haul, they're going to start passing those through, and we're going to see those inflationary pressures come through in the balance of this year and even more so into 2026.
NVIDIA plans to invest $100 billion into ChatGPT maker OpenAI and supply it with data center chips. The companies announced the move Monday, marking a tie-up between two leaders in artificial intelligence. A source close to OpenAI says the deal will involve two separate but intertwined transactions. NVIDIA will invest in OpenAI for non-controlling shares, and the startup can then use the cash to buy chips from NVIDIA. The chipmaker will invest an initial $10 billion and then start delivering hardware as soon as late 2026. On Monday, the two companies signed a letter of intent to deploy at least 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems for OpenAI. They aim to finalize partnership details in the coming weeks. NVIDIA shares closed around 4% higher after the announcement. OpenAI has been working to build its own AI chips as a cheaper alternative to NVIDIA, but a person familiar with the matter said its deal with NVIDIA doesn't change those plans or its partnership with Microsoft, which has invested billions in OpenAI since 2019. NVIDIA's investment comes days after it committed $5 billion to struggling chipmaker Intel. Analysts say the scale of the new OpenAI deal means it could attract the attention of regulators, though the Trump administration has so far taken a relatively hands-off approach to competition concerns.
It is tragic that we see this vaccine skepticism, because even though the number of additional deaths in the rich world is likely to be modest, every life should count, and when the poor countries hear that skepticism, it spreads there as well. And there, the chance of a child dying when they get measles is about 30% versus about 1% in rich countries. And so, tragically, that skepticism, which is not well-founded, will have caused more deaths outside the country than inside the country.
So with RFK Jr., you've agreed to disagree?
On vaccines, yes. I've met with him, and there are other things like this HIV cure work that is what's called a gene editing approach. And so I'm hoping in some areas we can work together, because the U.S. government research budget has always been a huge supporter of global health innovation.
Disney said on Monday that Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to ABC on Tuesday. This comes 6 days after the show was threatened with a regulatory probe by the Federal Communications Commission and then suspended by Disney over comments Kimmel made about conservative activist Charlie Kirk's assassination. Announcing Kimmel's return, Disney said it had initially suspended production to, quote, avoid further inflaming a tense situation and an emotional moment for our country. The statement went on to say the company felt some of Kimmel's comments in question were, quote, ill-timed and thus insensitive. But the entertainment giant stopped short of an outright apology. Sources familiar with the matter told Reuters that the decision was driven by what was in Disney's best interests, not external pressure from station owners or the FCC. Another source at the company said Disney was also feeling pressure from a campaign mounted by Kimmel's supporters, telling viewers to cancel their subscriptions to the Disney Plus paid streaming service in protest. Google searches for how to cancel Disney Plus spiked to a 12-month high, according to Google Trends. Kimmel is expected to address the issue when his show returns on Tuesday. It's unclear whether he will apologize or be required to curb his commentary. A spokeswoman for Kimmel could not immediately be reached for comment.
Look, he was fired, he had no talent.
U.S. President Donald Trump, who has often pressured broadcasters to drop content he dislikes, celebrated Kimmel's suspension last week and wrongly called it a cancellation. Andrew Colvett, a spokesperson for Kirk's conservative youth organization, Turning Point USA, accused Disney and ABC of, quote, caving to public pressure on X.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania on this Tuesday morning. We're looking at cloudy skies, a few showers developing this afternoon with temperatures today in the low 70s. Cloudy skies this evening. Areas of fog developing after midnight and a low of 60. Wednesday, some afternoon rain showers, low 70s for a high. Thursday, showers, low 70s. Friday, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine. Temperatures again in the low 70s. Saturday, partly cloudy, upper 70s for a high. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:51. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Well, let's go to Monday Night Football as we wrap up Week 3 of NFL action, where the Detroit Lions, what a great game last night. Detroit Lions picked up a win over the Baltimore Ravens, winning 38-30. So there you go. That wraps up Week 3 of NFL action. Baseball action from last night. You had the Braves with the win over the Nationals, 11-5. Padres beat the Brewers in 11 innings, 5-4. And it was a 6-5 win for the Cardinals over the Giants. Baseball action today, perhaps. Okay, here we go. You got the Orioles and the Rays tonight. Reds hosting the Pirates at 6:40. Guardians and Tigers at 6:40 in Cleveland. Phillies will host the Marlins. Yankees hosting the White Sox. Blue Jays and Red Sox tonight. Braves and Nationals. Cubs, Mets. Rangers, Twins. Angels, Royals. Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Padres taking on the Brewers. Mariners and Rockies tonight. Giants, Cardinals, A's taking on the Astros at 10:05 this evening. The National League standings, and we'll just address the National League Central Division. Milwaukee, Cubs, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh with 67 wins this year, 89 losses. You have Milwaukee clinching the division, the Cubs clinching a playoff spot. American League in the Central Division, Detroit, Cleveland, Kansas City, Minnesota, and the White Sox. And you have Toronto clinching a playoff spot in the American League. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at the moment, and we'll be talking about the World Series later next month. So, as we wrap up baseball season, and if you're a Pirates fan, baseball season wrapped up basically last May or April or February, your pick. But excited about next year. And
there's always next year.
There's always next year, yeah. Maybe Bruce can give us a recap on Friday. All right. Homecoming week continues for our son. Today is what day?
Throwback Tuesday.
Did he find something? You guys were stressing out last night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, you guys worry about that. This is a good game.
I feel like I told him, listen, if you don't decide on one of the 3 things I laid out that are pretty neutral, you'll be wearing a New Kids on the Block t-shirt with peg pants.
Oh. Did he go with that?
No.
Did he find something?
Yes, we had to we compromised. Yes.
Okay. All right, I won't ask. I'm sure I'll see a picture soon.
Yes, you will.
Is it already up?
I'm getting there.
Oh.
I'm working on it.
Okay, I just asking.
Gosh.
Well, it should be a good, fun week for him, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what's cool about, I guess, homecoming. Here, and probably everywhere, the schools do try to make it kind of a fun thing for the kids. So it's all good.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Fun week.
Yeah.
Which will end with the parade on Friday before the football game. And the parade theme is board games.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't. There's the dance on Saturday.
Yeah, and the dance on Saturday
night.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Fun.
This is a story this morning. I'm not sure about this. Scams, silence, rejection. U.S. job seekers describe depressing work prospects. I wonder what area they're talking about. I don't know where we are. It seems like there's a lot of opportunities if, you do the basic things like show up on time.
Yeah, that's all we ask sometimes,
It's amazing what opportunities there are from employers when it comes to this sort of thing. It's like, hey, maybe you're not necessarily 100% qualified, but we'll train you.
Yeah.
If you can just be here when we, ask, that would be great. That's a good start.
Like, show up and we'll be happy.
Yes. You can't get to work. You don't have a reliable transport. We'll figure that out. Mm-hmm. What can we do? Can we swing by and pick you up? Can we have somebody come by and pick you up? Can we, I know that's been, and you have people like, I think CATA, who have been working with a lot of organizations to try to figure out, okay, what can we do? I know this area, CATA has that rideshare program. They've got, the app where you can schedule, a pickup. So there's opportunities, not just to get to work, but to get to appointments, doctor's appointments, which are incredibly important. So, Yeah, I don't. I'd have to read more on this story, but this doesn't sound like it's maybe across the board. Again, it seems like there's a lot of opportunities in our area for a good career. I just saw another story here this morning that said that people are now thinking the end of the world is coming, so they're selling cars, like they're selling their cars, quitting work. Today's
It's ending today.
So yeah, people.
Throwback Tuesday.
And I'm not. Is it in the U.S., Joe, or is it like around the world?
I'm not sure where the date line.
Okay.
So it's going to end, just for one specific country, not another.
Well, I don't know. I didn't read the whole article, but it was basically saying people are quitting their jobs and selling their cars because the end is here.
The rapture has arrived.
Hey, it sounds to me like a good deal on some vehicles.
I know, right?
Joe's like, well, I walked to work today because I don't think I'll be driving home.
We have an up-and-coming driver, Luke. Let's be looking for a car. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well.
He's like, oh my God, no.
So, yeah, I just saw that this morning.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But anyways, I think there's a lot of opportunities here in Northwest Pennsylvania to have a great career, and I think you have an infrastructure in place. We have Dr. Stephanie Felion from the Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville. They're working with manufacturing companies. They're healthcare. Yeah, it's incredible. I think there's places like that, and then you've got great colleges here in Northwest Pennsylvania as well doing great things. So maybe you don't want to get into the trades, but maybe you want to pursue this opportunity. Most likely it's available. So
yeah.
Yeah, the hospital's doing the dental clinic. Well, that's with Education and Training Center.
Incredibly exciting. Like that is, and I know like Dr. Philly has talked about it endless times, but it's such a great opportunity here because most of those clinics happen in larger cities, and then they take jobs in those cities.
Sure.
If we have that education here, we're keeping them here, and there's definitely
there's a good chance that some of them will stay here, which would be great.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
But there's a need.
Yeah, there is a need. So. Well, it's fascinating, but again, this headline caught my attention this morning that scam, silence, rejection, U.S. job seekers describe depressing work prospects. I'm not saying that's not happening in places. Obviously, this article is based on these job seekers having issues, but here it seems like it's the opposite. Here it seems like you have businesses jumping up and down and screaming, saying, "We need workers." So.
There's so many times you go even into, if you're looking for a part-time job, but we went to a local restaurant the other day. They were short-staffed.
Yeah.
There was one waitress running around taking takeout and one waiting on a bunch of tables, and everybody's, and I think that's something that everybody needs to remember. Everybody's doing their best to get it done, so please be patient.
Be patient, absolutely. Ooh.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Monday that he was ready to extend the New START arms control treaty with the U.S. by 1 year, an agreement that limits how many nuclear weapons each side can have.
Поэтому Россия готова после After February 5th, 2026, Russia is prepared to continue adhering to the central quantitative limits of the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty for 1 year. Going forward, based on an analysis of the situation, we will make a decision if we continue adhering to these voluntary self-limitations. We believe this measure will only be viable if the United States acts in a similar manner.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Monday that President Donald Trump would respond publicly to Putin's proposal at a later time.
The president is aware of this offer extended by President Putin, and I'll let him comment on it later. I think it sounds pretty good, but he wants to make some comments on that himself, and I will let him do that.
The agreement is the last U.S.-Russia strategic nuclear arms control accord. It allowed for only one 5-year extension, which Putin and former President Joe Biden agreed to implement in 2021. The offer comes as Ukraine tries to convince Trump to impose harsher sanctions on Russia, something that Putin made public at a meeting of the Security Council. Russia and the United States have by far the biggest nuclear arsenals in the world, and many experts fear that ending the limits could fuel an arms race, as both sides boost strategic weapons deployments.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville. Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733. For over 30 years, J. Gill Plumbing and Heating has taken pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. Our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. And with the J. Gill Service membership, you can take advantage of additional benefits like filter replacements and priority service scheduling. Plus, members get 10% off future projects. Call today to get a free estimate or ask about financing options. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online at jgillplumbingheating.com. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
211 is a simple telephone number to remember when you don't know where to go for help. Dial 211 when needing to find health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. It's free and confidential, and you'll have access to thousands of programs and services for emergency and non-emergency situations. Visit pa211nw.org to learn more, and remember, help is available by calling 211.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
All three major U.S. stock indexes registered record closing highs for a third straight session on Monday, with the Dow gaining more than 0.1%, the S&P 500 adding over 0.4%, and the Nasdaq climbing 0.7%. After last week's quarter percentage point rate cut by the Federal Reserve, some central bank officials on Monday expressed doubt over the need for further cuts. Potential inflationary pressures from President Trump's tariffs are just one reason investors should remain cautious in this bull market, said Dean Smith, chief strategist and portfolio manager at Folio Beyond.
The fact that the entire environment can change really quickly on the basis of, a couple of tweets coming from the president or someone in his administration means that I think investors should be playing things pretty close to the vest right now. Stay cautious. Don't take a lot of interest rate risk. Again, if inflation continues to rise, as I think it may, interest rates on the long-term side of things are going to continue to rise. Anytime you can diversify, reduce your risk posture, I think that's a good position to be in over the next quarter or two, at least.
Shares of Tylenol maker Kenvue were down about 7.5% at the close, ahead of remarks by Trump that Tylenol contributes to the development of autism during pregnancy, a claim many doctors dispute. But the stock gained roughly 6% in extended trading during Trump's speech. Other movers included Nvidia, which rose roughly 4% after the chip maker said it will invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. And shares of Apple jumped more than 4% after Wedbush raised the stock's target price on strong demand signs for the iPhone 17.
All right, let's check that forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Cloudy this morning, a few showers developing this afternoon. Highs today in the low 70s. Cloudy this evening, fog developing late, a low of 60. Wednesday, some afternoon rain showers, low 70s. Thursday, showers, high of 70. Friday, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, low 70s. And Saturday, partly cloudy with temperatures in the upper 70s. That is a look at your weather forecast at 8:09. This is the Morning Drill. That was a beautiful shot this morning, and that was
from your vacation, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I was just going to say, don't you live like right around that bend there?
Yeah, something like that.
Cottage. Boy, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Joining us this morning, all the way from across the street, is Mr. Joe Tech. Hi, Joe.
Well, it's technically across the parking lot, not even really a street.
Yeah. Sorry. So,
yeah, that's all right.
How's it going today?
Good, Neil.
Good. Got a lot to catch up on.
A lot to catch up on. I apologize for not being here live last week. Darn work keeps getting in the way of my fun. So.
I know. It's just it's horrible, isn't it?
It was a good township convention, though, so it was good to go. So,
well, that's a whole different topic, so never mind. I was going to say, it's got to be fascinating as, just to be part of conversations with really cool projects and some maybe not so cool but important projects to the infrastructure of our region. And
yes, it is. And beyond the township conventions that I was at a couple of meetings with clients, and there is some positive movement on some necessary infrastructure upgrades that'll be nice little projects. Nothing grandiose, but necessary. And we'll hopefully be a positive benefit that nobody will ever notice.
Yes.
But when they turn the tap on and it works every time and their bills aren't going crazy because of lost water, it'll be a good thing. So.
Sometimes we take those little things for granted, and it's too bad.
Absolutely. So
we do notice, especially like we talked before, like technology, when there's an outage or something and you can't use your phone, it feels like it's the end of the world. Which I don't know, like if that were to happen and it was more of a long-term thing.
I certainly believe we would adapt, but boy, wouldn't we be like, oh man, if I just had a cell phone. Like, we were talking about it with our kids. Like, we used to write notes and leave them on the counter so that when you came home, you knew where each other was. And like, we would have to go back to that kind of we're just going to leave notes on the counter and hope you can read each other's writing. And
well, then you've got this whole other aspect of how much, take the medical industry and how just communication and technology has played a role in telemedicine and all this. So
can you imagine if we had the pandemic without the abilities we had to work from home and work remotely? And if you need to go to a doctor, you can see them via video conference, and to just stay at home and work because you can log into your computers from home. And can you imagine if that pandemic had happened even in the mid 90s, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
But would you actually know? Because there's a lot of false information or
there's
inflated.
There's a lot to be said for that. Yes. But yeah,
that'd be a good movie, Joe.
That might be a good movie. There you go, Luke. Start writing. I'll use AI to help you write that script.
I will get that, and then it'll be done today.
It'll be done today.
That's right.
First draft.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Yeah. But what I'm sure you want to talk about, because I know I want to talk about it, I'm sure everybody wants to hear about it, is our thoughts on the Apple event. So Apple announced their fall event where they announced new earbuds, the Pro 3s, AirPod Pro 3s. They announced new watches, 3 new watches. The Watch 11, the SE3, and the latest version of the Ultra, which I think is the Ultra 3 as well.
Yes.
Then they went into the iPhones. Not 3 new iPhones, but 4. You got the plain iPhone, or the base model, if you will. That'd be the iPhone 17, the 17 Pro, the 17 Pro Max, and the iPhone Air, their lightest and thinnest iPhone ever. But they also still very, very, not lacking on features just because it's so thin. They've actually moved most of the processing hardware into the phone bump. So it's very thin, but then there's a very much more than normal pronounced bump where all the computing happens. So do you want to give me your take? Because you seemed kind of excited, and I was kind of like,
okay. So you're going to have to kind of balance this with what Google maybe already has out, okay, or Samsung or whoever, okay. Obviously AI is playing a major role in a lot of stuff today.
Yes.
The Air kind of surprised me, but I was thinking the Air was going to be their big flashy new one, but it's not.
It wasn't. It wasn't the last thing.
No.
It was the Pro Max was the last
Pro Max,
thing.
absolutely, yes. So that one is about, I think, the normal thickness. It's not any thinner, but it's
right.
It's not the Air. So and just to let you know, I did see these in person Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Which I'll get to the watch it part in a sec because it was kind of surprising. But the nothing in terms of style. I think the Air was the one that really was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That would be a nice, cool phone to have.
Yeah.
Except all the features I need are actually in the Pro Max.
Yes.
So, okay, I'm bypassing that and looking at the Pro Max.
I just don't. I've never really been worried about thinness in my phone. Like, they're a good form factor. I don't know that I necessarily need it to be half as thick.
I agree.
I will say the one thing that I pulled out of the event was they said that when you put the MagSafe charger, like the battery pack, it'll MagSafe to the back. Now all of a sudden it's just the normal thickness. So I was like, okay, if you're using your battery a lot and you need to use that a lot, that's maybe where you'd want to go with the Air, because then when you put that battery on the back, that external MagSafe battery, it's still a normal size, and it doesn't all of a sudden become it becomes twice as thick, but now all of a sudden it's just normal size.
Yeah.
So that kind of intrigued me. Like, maybe that's where you would use that. If you're using it a lot, you end up draining the battery some, so you need to use that a lot. Maybe that's where you use it.
So much has happened in a couple weeks here since they made the announcement. So I'm going to go from watching it live to downloading the latest iOS to actually seeing this stuff in person. When I was watching it, again, you're looking for that, okay, this really makes it stand apart from my phone. Did I see much of that? No. I saw cool features like the ability to translate languages, and the AirPods and the phones.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Although most of us will rarely ever use that.
Absolutely. But it was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then I was, of course, so I'm looking at the camera features, and there were some cool things. More importantly, there were some companies developing products for this line of phone for professional purposes. So I'm like, okay, that could be interesting to make that work. Fast forward to last week, like a week after the announcement, the new iOS update came out. So I updated my phone, which makes it feel like it's a new phone. So again,
although did it slow it down any?
I don't think much.
Okay.
So I first downloaded the beta version. Kind of buggy in some aspects. Nothing where I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally regret this. And then within like a couple days or less than a week later, the actual version came out. So I updated it.
Yeah.
It's fine. But it makes it feel like it's a new phone to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So then Saturday, we happened to stop into a Verizon store and had a chance to look at the Airs and the Max
And that
Pros.
was a quote-unquote happened.
No. I have not had this phone as long as I had thought.
Oh, okay.
So I still am going to be keeping this one.
Okay.
Miss Amy has had her phone for a very long time and has been offered a chance to renew her phone for the last 2 years, I think.
Gotcha.
So she was looking. I was looking at so here's the thing, Joe. I wouldn't turn down the opportunity to jump on the new phone this time. But I was looking at the watches because I thought, okay, well, I think I've had mine for 2 years. I think it's paid off. I'll look at the upgraded watches. Well, the sales rep actually said, you don't need it.
No?
No. He goes, and I still owe a little bit on this.
Okay.
But he's like, he goes, I don't think it's enough for you to just go, yes, I have to have that. Now, there's I think the satellite features. So if you're in the woods and you have no cell service and you're lost or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, he said technically yours will still work like that. But
yeah. I watching the presentation, it didn't really seem like there was much there. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was that because they don't come out with the Watch SE every year. So that was kind of the big thing. It was, well, if you want a cheaper phone, but you want the newest phone so that you keep getting the updates longer, the SE is the way to go. Because you can buy a year-old regular standard iWatch, but you're not going to get as many updates. So if you want the newest thing, but you want a cheaper phone or watch, the SE is where to go. So that really was kind of the only thing in the watch space that was really of any consequence.
Let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Joe Tech with us here this morning. Our sales rep did say the Orange Max Pros were selling out like that. They didn't have any. They sold their last iPhone that morning.
Oh.
So they just got them Friday. They were sold out by Saturday morning.
Wow.
So anybody that was ordering anything had to be ordered and shipped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously people were coming in and buying these things. They didn't even have watches in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I think they have like in terms of the Ultra, I think they have a black version of the Ultra as opposed to the stainless steel version of it. So,
yeah. I was intrigued by the Air simply because it was interesting how they took existing items that they had done for the watch, because for the watch you have to make your components incredibly small. And so, like, you know, some of the watches have 5G modems in them, so those have to be very small and packaged very tightly. So that's how they were able to get the iPhone Air, was to take some of those components that they had shrink down for the watch, reuse them into the camera bump to make it so thin. So it was interesting listening to the presentation and how they were able to do that. So that was interesting. I liked, it sounds kind of like it might be a useless feature, but the ability to record from both cameras at the same time. So if you wanted to get your reaction but also still film the event, you can do that and do it at the same time. That was kind of interesting, and it sounds kind of hokey, but I put that in the hands of some really interesting creators, and that might come out with some really cool products. So that was kind of interesting to me, and I kind of want a little bit of a mea culpa here. Like, I kind of rag on Apple that all they do is just kind of update things every year. But I'm changing my tune on that a little bit. I think to some extent that's their superpower. They don't ever let a product just sit and stagnate. They are always adding something, making it better, making it fresh. And I think that's where their strength lies. They've got a good product that they know is good. You know, if you talk about auto manufacturers, a lot of times if they get a good product, they don't want to redo it. You know, they just sell it for a few years and then they're like, nah, we're going to move on to something else. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like the Nissan Juke, I know it was polarizing in style, but it was interesting and people liked it and people bought it. And then it gets to the end of its life cycle and they're like, no, we're just going to make this thing called the Rogue and we're going to completely divert from that. And it's like, why wouldn't you refresh it and you know, make it, you know, new again? But Apple does that every year, like clockwork. There's new stuff, and it, like you said, it might not be that killer feature that makes you want to go out and buy it, but I know that when my phone is ready to die, I know that the new one is going to be better. It's going to be, it's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be better. It's going to have more features. And I really got to give them a lot of credit for that because, you know, you even look at, you know, Samsung or Google. It's like Google had a really good thing with some of their old phones. And I can't even remember now what they used to call them. The Nexus phones. And it's like, no, we're going to not do that anymore. We're going to call it the Pixel. We're going to do it a different idea behind it. And it's like, well, people like that. Just keep doing that and refresh it every year. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every year. Just keep doing it. And then eventually when you do have something that's killer, then you put it out. But
I think, you know, if you look at, and I don't remember, I have the 15, maybe 16, whatever it is. If you held this up next to the first iPhone I ever had was the iPhone 4.
Okay.
Obviously, a little different, but they would look like brother and sister. You know,
Yes.
I mean, they're gonna have that same look to them. And something I said to you, a couple weeks ago with the presentation was, you know, I wasn't sure on the polished presentation, and then I saw Mark Zuckerberg do a presentation with the glasses.
Yeah.
Where he just comes out on a stage and I'm like, boy, this looks like a high school play production compared to what I just saw with the polished Apple production.
And Apple always did a really nice job with their presentations, and they were always very good. But it's really polished. It looks good. It sounds good. Like, its transitions are fantastic. It's like, I can understand why they do this. Like, I miss because they did such a good job with them. But it's like, wow, that's really nice.
Yeah. Well, I think too, even when Apple was on stage, it was a dark stage, black curtains.
Yes.
So your focus is on the product because it's colorful, it's bright, it's you know. So your focus was there. I just saw, you know, Mark Zuckerberg walked out. It was like all lit up. The stage wasn't decorated that great, and it was just sort of. It was like, again, walking out onto a high school stage, and I thought, boy, that's a contrast.
Yeah, and you've got the resources. Like, no, make this look good, and like, I get it. You're a tech company, and you know, you don't want to be too like a media company, but like, come on, you've got the resources. Make this work well and make it good, and. Yeah, I agree with you. And
the other thing with these videos that Apple just put out, you know, they visited different Apple locations, and you got a sense of, okay, you know, it's not just the style of the phone or the watch; it's the stores, it's their whole infrastructure,
it's the headquarters,
yes,
it's everything. Yeah, and they do the drone shot of New York City, and then they go to their store while a song about New York is playing, and it's very smartly done and very well produced, yeah. So.
Well, how will it sell?
Sounds like it's already selling well, but yes, I think it will sell well. Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's going to be, if anything's going to hold it back, it's going to be the economy, not the phone itself. So, same thing with the watch and the AirPods. It's going to be. That's a little bit much right now for us. You know, it's like the Ultra, and I get what you say that, well, you wrap it up into a monthly fee and who cares, but it's like, you watch that presentation, it's like $800 for a watch. Like, well, I can get the iPhone for $800. Like, that's a lot of money. So it's like,
and right now the trade-ins on this stuff, I think, what were we offered? Or Amy was offered like $1,100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for her phone.
Wow.
So it's not, but I get if cell phones are going to be a big expense monthly, right?
Yes.
So even to add $7, $8, $11, some people are like, okay, let's not do that. And you know, totally understandable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not always, spread it out. It's not always that easy when, you know, even $10, $15 added to a bill. If it's a big bill.
And you're like us, you know, it's not just you and the wife. It's the wife and 3 kids now that all have phones that we're still paying for.
Yeah.
So it's like,
All right. Hey, we'll continue the conversation after the news.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Monday that he was ready to extend the New START arms control treaty with the U.S. by 1 year, an agreement that limits how many nuclear weapons each side can have.
After February 5th, 2026, Russia is prepared to continue adhering to the central quantitative limits of the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty for 1 year. Going forward, based on an analysis of the situation, we will make a decision if we continue adhering to these voluntary self-limitations. We believe this measure will only be viable if the United States acts in a similar manner.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Monday that President Donald Trump would respond publicly to Putin's proposal at a later time.
The president is aware of this offer extended by President Putin, and I'll let him comment on it later. I think it sounds pretty good, but he wants to make some comments on that himself, and I will let him do that.
The agreement is the last U.S.-Russia strategic nuclear arms control accord. It allowed for only one 5-year extension, which Putin and former President Joe Biden agreed to implement in 2021. The offer comes as Ukraine tries to convince Trump to impose harsher sanctions on Russia, something that Putin made public at a meeting of the Security Council. Russia and the United States have by far the biggest nuclear arsenals in the world, and many experts fear that ending the limits could fuel an arms race, as both sides boost strategic weapons deployments.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me. Somebody say pinch?
Pinch,
Ooh,
pinch.
time.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs? Oh, don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea? We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
All three major U.S. stock indexes registered record closing highs for a third straight session on Monday, with the Dow gaining more than 0.1%, the S&P 500 adding over 0.4%, and the Nasdaq climbing 0.7%. After last week's quarter percentage point rate cut by the Federal Reserve, some central bank officials on Monday expressed doubt over the need for further cuts. Potential inflationary pressures from President Trump's tariffs are just one reason investors should remain cautious in this bull market, said Dean Smith, chief strategist and portfolio manager at Folio Beyond.
The fact that the entire environment can change really quickly on the basis of, a couple of tweets coming from the president or someone in his administration means that I think investors should be playing things pretty close to the vest right now. Stay cautious. Don't take a lot of interest rate risk. Again, if inflation continues to rise, as I think it may, interest rates on the long-term side of things are going to continue to rise. Anytime you can diversify, reduce your risk posture, I think that's a good position to be in over the next quarter or two, at least.
Shares of Tylenol maker Kenvue were down about 7.5% at the close, ahead of remarks by Trump that Tylenol contributes to the development of autism during pregnancy, a claim many doctors dispute. But the stock gained roughly 6% in extended trading during Trump's speech. Other movers included Nvidia, which rose roughly 4% after the chip maker said it will invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. And shares of Apple jumped more than 4% after Wedbush raised the stock's target price on strong demand signs for the iPhone 17.
All right, a quick look at that weather forecast. We'll just look at today and tonight. The rest, as you can see, a little bit of rain expected throughout the week, but cloudy this morning, a few showers developing this afternoon. Low 70s for a high today, cloudy this evening, fog developing late, and a low of 60. And then we work our way into Wednesday with some afternoon rain showers and temperatures in the low 70s. That is a look at your weather forecast at 8:39. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Joe Tech with us. A lot going on in the world of technology. Talking a lot about Apple. Had their event about 2 weeks ago. And again, the products just making their way out into the stores this past weekend. And I think if you're an Apple person, probably excited about the new products that are out, or the updated products that are out at least. If you're not in the Apple ecosystem, you're not, I don't think, jumping up and down going, okay, it's time to try. Maybe the Air would attract some people, just form factor. I don't know, Joe.
Maybe. I don't see anything that's really going to drag people from Samsung or Google or Android in general.
Would you say most companies do a really good job at trying to, once you're in that ecosystem, they really try to just capture you with the products that they have, in terms of, it's hard to jump away because all my pictures are saved, or videos, or apps, or
and I would
passwords.
say it's the services more than the products. Yeah, we can store all your photos in the cloud, and Yeah, it's just easier to stay in that in that ecosystem than it would be to jump over. So yeah, I think most companies are very good at that.
Well, even the password thing, I don't want to have to remember my password. You know, updating a phone and even changing the phone that you have can be a headache to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else with iPhones?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, we could delve further if you want. One of the things that I find fascinating, and maybe it's just because it's an older generation, but there's some folks that I know that are kind of proud that they have these old iPhones, and they're like, it's fine, still works. You know, it's like those people that struggled to get off the flip phone, they finally did, and they're still on their first or maybe second smartphone, and they're like, why? It's fine, it works just fine. You know, and they might not be supported anymore, so you might want to upgrade, but why? It's fine. Like, or it's like, you could at least change your screen protector because it's all cracked up. You know, you can change those pretty cheaply. So I think there's a certain segment that just, no, Apple's a good product and I don't want to change.
You know what's crazy? Before my first Apple, which again I said was the Apple IV, I had, what was it, the Storm? The Motorola. Was that Motorola?
Or was it Geostorm?
No.
No, that was a car.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was.
I think it was Motorola.
Yeah, and then the Razor. The Razor I loved.
Yeah.
But that was thin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I still have those like around the house somewhere.
I've kept a couple of things that the original Droid.
Yeah.
With the slide-out keyboard, I still have that floating around. Yeah.
So the one thing I wish I had was the Apple. The iPhone 4,
yeah.
my first one. I wish I still had that one.
I saw on X that there's a guy, and I wish I could remember his name. He still has his original iPhone 1, and so every year he's like a tech journalist, and so every year when he goes to the presentation and he gets to try out the newest, he takes a photo with the old one and with the new one and compares and contrasts.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's like, like it was an okay photo, but it's like, this is light years from. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Does he have a new one? He just keeps the old one, or
he keeps the old one, but he gets new ones. Yeah.
So that's the only thing. I wish I still had it.
Yeah.
But obviously that's the thing, right? You trade it in, and you're getting a discount on the new ones.
Yeah.
So you lose out on that.
And the last thing I'll say is my youngest son, he's an Android user. My middle son, he's got an Apple. And my youngest is like, and I don't know if he really means this or if it's just his way of convincing me to let him get an Apple because I'm a big Android guy.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I really should get an Apple at least once so that I can compare and contrast and see which one I really like better. It's like, all right, I can't argue with that. So his next phone will probably be an Apple.
That's great. That's great.
Because I've had an Apple. I think mine was the 5S.
Okay.
So it's been a long time, but I was in that ecosystem, so I do have a little bit of ability to compare and contrast. And
you're not going back?
No.
Would you ever? You would never try it?
I really probably should try it again because it has been a long time. I mean, that was more than a dozen years ago.
Let me ask you. There's obviously what I do work-wise that there's features and stuff that I really utilize and like about this infrastructure here. But it's not like I use Macs for editing. I'm still a PC Windows guy, right?
Yeah.
Are there things in your world where you go, yeah, an iPhone isn't as good because these other things have the tools I need, or is it really starting to be a universal environment for a lot of these things?
So the stuff that we do, there's not really any killer app on Apple that works any better. I mean, there's a lot of specialized software that gets used, but in the office, we're PC, because the CAD software that people use, it all works way better on PCs.
Yeah.
There is one product that I've seen used in the past, and it works really well on iPad, and I don't know how well it works on other tablets, but you can actually upload the AutoCAD, and you can use if you've created a 3D model using Revit software, you can actually upload the model onto your iPad, and you can actually go into the space, and it knows where you are in space. So as you look around, you can see where piping is supposed to be. It's like looking through a window into the 3D model. It was absolutely fascinating. So that if you're a on the field worker, you can actually look up and like, oh, you put your ductwork in the wrong spot. It was supposed to be over here. And yeah. So, but around here, a lot of people aren't going to that extreme detail because it's smaller projects. You can coordinate it the old school way with just pen and paper, and just, there's not that much conflict. So people around here aren't using it a ton.
So we've talked before, like tablets seem to be maybe the bigger difference, whether it's a Windows-based tablet where you need the Windows, suite of Office, or you need to, do spreadsheets. Not that you can't on a iPad, but it seems like there's kind of two different mindsets. So here's the other crazy thing. I think we started talking about this. We added some technology this year in our sports production.
Yeah.
Where I had to buy a couple Surface tablets, Windows-based, right? These are Windows Surface tablets. I know Windows. I work with Windows every day.
Yeah.
I was completely lost.
Like,
with
where
these
do
things.
I start?
Yeah. It's like, you idiot. It's just like a computer. So, it was just kind of strange to have to refocus a little bit and treat it like it was more a computer and not a tablet.
Well, and I had that same, just kind of stare at it for a minute. Like, I need to get my bearings here for a second. Like, I was expecting tiles, like a tablet. Like, oh, no.
Yes.
This is just a Windows PC in a different form factor. It's like, okay.
Yeah, just fascinating.
Yeah.
Hey, there's so many other things. Take your time with this stuff. There's a lot going on with TikTok.
Yes, there's still a lot of rumors. Nothing hardcore yet, but or concrete yet. But yes, there's a lot of rumors that there's a framework. We're getting that term a lot these days. There's a framework. It's not a deal, but there's a framework for a deal, maybe.
Okay, all right.
But it's got to go on the United States side.
Yes.
Still has to get approved by China. And like I've said before, there's a lot of moving parts there,
But it seems like there's a concrete buyer just waiting for these things to settle.
Again, a lot of rumors.
Okay.
I don't know.
Rupert Murdoch?
That's what I've heard. I've also heard other people. So, yeah, not sure.
But does it sound like we're getting a lot closer than we were?
It sounds like it.
A couple months ago.
But there again, China claims that NVIDIA is a monopoly. So they're restricting what NVIDIA can do. So again, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a trade deal that still hasn't been worked out, even though we've had a framework for a while. So, I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
We will be first to break it to you if something happens, I'm sure.
Yeah. Or within the week.
Yeah, within the week. Or two if I have a convention.
Right. So another thing, we talked about this, Amy and I talked about this morning. I just thought this was cool. NASA released their newest class of astronauts, the class picture of astronauts.
Oh, okay.
And the headline was, a couple of these astronauts could be the first to walk on Mars.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool. There was might have been Sean Ryan's show, and he had somebody on talking about NASA, and he claims that there's a lot of stuff that you don't hear about astronauts and having a lot of issues in space. And he said, I don't know if living on Mars long term is going to be feasible just because of the psychological toll that it takes on you. People really struggle. According to him, NASA never gives you any of that, but it's
like the military, right?
Yeah,
the mental aspect you don't hear about till afterwards.
There's not finish work and I can go home. No, you're there.
Yeah,
that is your home, and that mentally getting used to that, and when you're traveling around, you see the sun more often, and it's not like you can get into a normal sleep cycle, and it's going to be exacerbated on Mars. It's not like you get a little anxiety, you can't take a walk in the park because there's no park, because there's no air. Like you're so mentally it's very difficult. So it's very fascinating when you really start to think about some of those things that, at best, at best it takes a long time to get there. At worst, you can't get back. So it's like, the mental aspect of that is really fascinating.
Yeah.
So you still want to go into space?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would.
You want to do one of those day trips where you just go up and float around for a little while
minutes, and back down.
Yeah. Do a Katy Perry and put a flower in your ear.
Nah, I don't think I'd do that. Let's do this real quick and then we'll continue this. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Joe Tech with us here this morning. You're hearing a lot more about setting up, like a moon base.
Yeah.
There's even talk of like a space hotel, which would be costly.
Yeah.
But
it could generate revenue to do other things. And I'd love to see it.
So there's really not, it seems like all you hear are those couple solutions that you brought up. You're either going there and not coming back. There's really not a go and circle Mars and come back, right?
That's the lead up.
Okay.
So they sent a shuttle without humans, remotely piloted, went and circled Mars and came back, right? And then the next stage would be, we're going to send people to do that same thing. Not going to land on it, but we're just going to circle and come back. And that's kind of the lead up in the testing stage to, okay, now that third trip would be, okay, we're going to circle, but then we're going to land. We're going to have people there. I don't know how you get people back, because to get off the gravitational pull of Mars would have to be somewhat similar to getting off of Earth. Probably not as much, because Mars is smaller, less gravity, less environmental impacts. But still, you would have to take enough fuel to launch another rocket and get off and get back. So I haven't delved into the details of that, whether that's a one-way trip or not.
Yeah, and obviously that you'd be looking at, or NASA would be looking at, probably whatever that landing area is, sending supplies ahead of time or whatever's needed. So when they get there, they're able to do those things to get off. But yeah.
Or they're just going to send Matt Damon with a bunch of potatoes. I don't know.
Well, that could work too.
Yeah.
Do you think in our lifetime we'll see somebody actually set foot on Mars?
Yes, I do. Well, no, because isn't the world going to end soon?
Today? You said today. I didn't realize it was today.
The headline, I didn't read the article, but the headline I said was September 23rd, which is today.
What grabbed my attention was people are quitting their jobs to sell cars. And I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. So I was reading the article, and it had nothing to do with that. It was people quitting their jobs because the end of the world, and they were selling
their cars.
Cars. But the headline was, and selling, I thought, they're working for car dealerships. Maybe less stressful. I don't know what it is.
Stand around in a parking lot all day? I don't know.
But it was a really misguided headline.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting what I saw.
Yeah.
So.
But yes, I think that we will see someone step foot on Mars in our lifetime. Whether it's NASA, I don't know that answer. It might be SpaceX.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else has grabbed your attention in tech?
Well, you alluded to it earlier. The Meta had another event where they showed off some new glasses, which was kind of surprising because we had just talked recently about so Meta partners with Ray-Ban to do their glasses that have cameras in them. Well, they did the same thing with Oakley. So it's a little more sporty look, but it's got the same ideas. You can tap it and it can take pictures and record video, and bone conducting sound so you can listen to music. Well, they came out with an updated Ray-Ban that now has a screen on the glass so that you can actually see things. So this is kind of what I've been talking about for a long time, kind of augmented reality, but it's more just putting things in your field of view so that you can, see who's calling you. You can do video chats, or you can send emails or text messages. It comes with a bracelet that goes on your wrist that detects movements, and so that's how you control it. It detects how you move. And yes, their presentation was bad, and it went bad. They had some sort of issue, and it's got their AI built in so that it can do a lot of things for you. And they're still big and bulky, but you're going to see a lot of people wearing these within a year.
All right, I'm going to apologize. I don't recall seeing this part of the presentation.
Okay.
So that looks a lot cooler than what I initially said. So I apologize. The only clips they must have had in the news were like him off to the side where you didn't see this stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you can see he's doing different things with his thumb, and that bracelet is what's controlling what you're seeing in the glasses.
Okay.
So it's hard to believe how long ago Google Glass was. There is still some concern that people will have that reaction. People did not like seeing people wear Google Glass. They thought it was an invasion of privacy, and there were a lot of issues with it. But this is what kind of Google Glass was going for. I'm kind of surprised that Meta beat Google to the punch, and Google hasn't gotten something like this in a more usable format. Maybe it's because of the partnership with Ray-Ban. I don't know, but and maybe it's just that Meta's focused on it and put a lot of effort into it. But it's a really cool product, and I really think you're going to see a lot of people using these within a year.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, again, this is Apple's presentation, but is it a thing that you have to have a black shirt on these presentations?
It's one of the things that I noticed was like they don't look very professional, and maybe they're trying to be as innocuous as possible. But even, there you go. There's Tim Cook, and it's just a blue kind of generic polo with, I don't even know if those are slacks or if those are like a workout pant. I can't even tell. And it just doesn't look real professional or very nice to me.
Well, I think they're going for, again, don't look at me.
Yes.
Hear what I'm saying and look at our
Notice
product.
the surroundings and look at our product.
Yes.
I think that's what they're going for, but I don't. I think you can do it in a different way.
Behind me is the spaceship that delivers all the special materials from another galaxy. I don't know.
And one other thing I want to mention. I see we're getting close to time. Amazon is set to have a product announcement, and it's the first one we've had in a couple of years. And it'll be led by Panos Panay, who we know from Microsoft. So, and he did a really nice job with their Surface tablets. And the last time we had Amazon, it was a shotgun effect. There were analog wall clocks. There were microwaves with Alexa built in.
Yeah.
It was just all over the board. It's probably going to be a little bit more focused, and I'm excited to see what they have.
Good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you, too.